Met this girl down by the vine, had long tan legs and big brown eyes. Seemed the type I would wanna make mine.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. I haven't recorded in a long time, and you may be wondering or asking me or asking yourself, why is he wearing a hat on his head? Well, the corona thing is happening, and I can't go to a hairdresser to get my hair done, so I'm kind of covering it up. Another reason why is I got my mom to kind of twist my hair, so I'm not. It's okay. It's okay. Let's just leave it at that. Okay. But today I'm gonna be doing a more reaction style video. It's it's actually a TED Talk by Mallence Williams about Africa and the world. So if you want to listen to this, it's a very good TED Talk, and I can't take credit for finding this. My grandma actually sent me the link and said you should watch this, and I was like, wow, it's very insightful. So I figured I should make a video about it. So here we go. Let's start.
Good afternoon. I am Mallence, and I come from the richest country in the world. It is located in the richest continent in the world, in the west of the richest continent. My country is called Sierra Leone. On the surface, we are blessed with infinite beauty and abundance of flora and fauna, producing the most exquisite harvest of coffee, cocoa, fruits, vegetables, and caoutchouc. You name it, we've got it.
It starts off very subtle. It's a very serious topic, but I'm not sure if to put music in the background or whatever, but I guess my commentary would just have to suffice. Let me stop pausing and let's get back to it.
We also have diverse wildlife and vast marine resources, and waterfalls and rivers.
Okay, so my grandma sent me like a highlight clip, okay? So
golden.
It's not the full 17-minute clip, it's more. It was, hold on, let me
which
go
of
back
course is inhabited.
It's 4
by
minutes,
the most
so they
souls.
cut it up because basically for the first few minutes of this she's introducing herself. So I'm not sure if you guys want to see the 4-minute clip or if you guys want to see the full 17-minute clip. So I'm gonna come back to you in a bit, and I would have figured this thing out already. Okay?
Cultural heritage. In fact, Sierra Leone had the first sub-Saharan university. Prior to that, there was one in the kingdom of Timbuktu, which was the first university in the world, succeeding the great Gnostic schools of Egypt and Osiris. On a deeper level, we are blessed with the real treasures the kings and queens of this world desire. This was the largest alluvial diamond ever found. It weighs almost 1,000 carats, 969 to be precise. This beauty was found by an old lady in her backyard about 2 years ago. 125 carats. Some people mine gold in their backyards. That's quite common. Besides gold and diamonds, we have about 20 precious minerals that have been discovered as of today. We recently started extracting huge petroleum reserves that have been discovered. We have platinum, ilmenite to make titanium, rutile to coat jets, iron ore, the largest iron ore deposits in Africa, the third largest in the world.
Okay.
Tantalite, also known as coltan, used in your mobile phones and computers. Bauxite for aluminum production. Zinc, chrome ore, copper, coal, phosphates, potassium, salt, lead, granite, asbestos, nickel, zircon. Furthermore, we have exquisite timber like mahogany, antique, and we have the most beautiful stamps in the world. Of course, the West needs Africa's resources most desperately to power airplanes, cell phones, computers, and engines. And the gold and diamonds, of course, a status symbol to determine their powers by their core and to give value to their currencies. One thing that keeps me puzzled, despite having studied finance and economics at the world's best universities, the following question remains unanswered. Why is it that 5,000 units of our currency is worth 1 unit of your currency, where we are the ones with the actual gold reserves? It's quite evident that the aid is in fact not coming from the West to Africa, but from Africa to the Western world. The Western world depends on Africa in every possible way, since alternative resources are scarce out here. So how does the West ensure that the free aid keeps coming? By systematically destabilizing the wealthiest African nations and their systems, and all that backed by huge PR campaigns, leaving the entire world under the impression that Africa is poor and dying and merely surviving on the mercy of the West. Well done, Oxfam, UNICEF, Red Cross, Life Aid, and all the other organizations that continuously run multi-million-dollar advertisement campaigns depicting charity porn to sustain that image of Africa globally. Ad campaigns paid for by innocent people under the impression to help with their donations. While one hand gives under the flashing lights of cameras, the other takes in the shadows. We all know the dollar is worthless, while the euro is merely charged with German intellect and technology, and maybe some Italian pasta.
This is what I've been saying, well, not saying, but I've alluded to in multiple conversations actually. And this is something I've noticed in a bunch of documentaries and TV shows. It's Africa and sub-Saharan Africa is always depicted as this needy, broken down place where food is scarce, people are dying, all of this. And it's not to say that some parts this thing it doesn't exist, because clearly it does, but it's such a vast continent that even if that was like 20%, that 20% like is very small in comparison. And not only does the continent have all these resources, but they are doing well for themselves. The institution is strong, and like, I mean, she will go on to explain. I don't need to say it. I didn't really study this stuff. I don't have a degree in finance, and I'm studying psychology. So I'm not really one to really hit you guys with the facts, as it were, but I mean, it's portrayed really negatively by the media and, as she said, Red Cross, etc. It's a global thing to keep the free labor coming, and it's really like really taking advantage of all of Africa's resources for free, like literally nothing. And it's that, I guess, slavery mentality stemmed by Columbus and all of his predecessors from way back then. So yeah, it's really messed up. And for people to be saying, "Oh, you know what? Let me not even get into that. Let's just play the video."
How can one expect donations from nations that have so little?
Where's my glasses?
It's super sweet of you to come with your colored paper in exchange for our gold and diamonds. But instead, you should come empty-handed, filled with integrity and honor. We want to share with you our wealth and invite you to share with us.
I'm wearing my older pair of glasses.
The perception
'cause I can't find my
is
other pair.
that a healthy and thriving Africa would not disperse its resources as freely and cheaply, which is logical. Of course, it would instead sell its resources at world market prices, which in turn would destabilize and weaken Western economies, established on the post-colonial free meal system. Last year, the IMF reports that 6 out of 10 of the world's fastest growing economies are in Africa, measured by their GDP growth. The French Treasury,
You
for
see,
example,
because of what the white folk, as it were, in layman's terms, the white folk, quote unquote, would have done in the past, they think black people, Africans, would automatically have a vendetta against them. But that's not true. Like, we just want to live, but without being victimized, and always being on the back foot in terms of position and all of that. Like, come on, we just if we weren't still being destabilized, and we of our own fruition sell our resources, it probably won't be at market price, at world market price. It may not even be, because these guys that have control over this thing now take bloody advantage of the thing, like, because they don't have to put much in to get this amount of wealth, so their profit margins are sky high. It's through the roof. So who says that we would run the thing like they run it? You know? So yeah, damn. And I still have 10 minutes
receiving
of this video to
about
go. About 10
$500
minutes. Like,
billion
this is some
dollars
really interesting
year
thing
in,
stuff.
year out. Foreign exchange reserves from African countries based on colonial debt they forced them to pay. Former French President Jacques Chirac stated in an interview recently that we have to be honest and acknowledge
6 out of 10 of the world's fastest growing economies are in Africa. That's quite a far cry from the reports you get in the social media, and people saying, oh, what has Africa done, what has black people done to improve the lives of everyday people, where most of the well-educated people that are actually making a change in the world and finding cures for viruses are black people. quite frankly enough. So this narrative that people like to push, that black people are bad, all they're good for is violence, and they can never run a country, and they like it's so bad. It's my camera overheated, and it just shut off, so I'm not sure how much of what I last said you heard, but I guess I forgot my train of thought because I had to wait a while, so I'm just gonna play the video. I think we were talking about the growing economy of Africa. Is like the sixth highest growing economies in the world, and the format, the stereotype that Africans and whatever is a dying country and people, they can't run it, where it's not even our fault at all. If we weren't given the position, we weren't even in control up until of recent, because of things done in the past. So how could people cast this judgment on us so freely without even doing their research? It's crazy, but let's continue with it, because at this point I'm speaking more than her, and it's ridiculous.
That a big part of the money in our banks comes precisely from the exploitation of the African continent. In 2008, he stated that without Africa, France will slide down in the rank of a third world power. This is what happens in the human world, the world we have created. Have you ever wondered how things work in nature? One would assume that in evolution the fittest survives. However, in nature, any species that is overhunting.
So you see, again, the we're being marginalized and taken advantage of again and again. Most of the money in our bank accounts originated or comes from Africa. Imagine that. If we run our own country, wouldn't we be doing better for ourselves? Wouldn't the country itself develop more instead of being mined and exploited and just being left asunder? You know? That's just my opinion. Like, come on. Enough is enough. Clearly.
Overexploiting the resources they depend on as nourishment. Natural selection would sooner or later take the predator out, because it offsets the balance.
It's really sad.
Now that I shared my perspective with you, I would like to share my initiatives with you. As a Sierra Leonean, I'm a diamond expert. I find them in the rough. What nature created from the darkest substance, under the influence of heat and pressure, transforms into the strongest, most brilliant rocks.
Wow. Yeah, it's really
These
true.
rocks have the consistency to stem an entire nation. These will be our future leaders. Please meet the Phalange Creative Collective I formed with 21 street kids that were orphaned and displaced as a result of the Sierra Leonean Civil War, and ended up living in the street as early as age 3, growing up as outlaws of society.
I name Timothy, but my gangster name na Ephraim.
My name is Patrick Christian Kago.
My name is Alusanja.
Samosi.
None shall escape the visions that I see. No soul saved. Best believe.
I lost my mother and father during the Civil War in Sierra Leone. I was brought up by my grandmother in the village.
At the age of 5 years, of age. Yeah. So this time Mama had treat me, even put poison for me, and I chop for it.
The visions that
In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. This is not my story, not my life.
He lost his mom during the Civil War.
I would not the man who formed la base. Yes, I would not the first man who begin lock la base. Stay other gangster the Kaisai la base. And la base is it now. The team, all man, fearful of the team.
the visions that I see.
You get the hard way, you get the soft way. The soft way na for good thief. The hard way na for good tooth. Na of course, it tooth for people or it will dirty for people.
It is fearful.
If you're not strong na the streets, you go die before time. Or either you come out bad before time. Yes.
2001 when I come on the streets, I did do them bad, I thief, I job phone, I do all them bad life. Till 2010, I can shoot Mallence.
From the street, he take me na school, he go put me na school. I dey live fine now. Then me own thing what I want to do in the future. I want to study law. I get that determination they always. So I want to become a lawyer. Me future than the.
Best believe my breath must break.
My future plan, see what I able to do for help me own family. Because I don't decide say I want to go to school, I want to be international businessman.
So me some of me company the way they live their wayward life there, I wish them back would change like me. For let them go they left their style here, let them they imagine say all the rough style here not fine for mortal man. Mortal man, I more possible for the reason and wish for better future in this world.
These guys are my biggest inspiration. Destiny brought us together. I met them by a chance encounter in 2010. 2011, they all started living with me, 21 in number. Wonderful things happen when creatives meet with mutual respect. How did we go about it? Creativity. That same creativity that ensured their survival under the most adverse circumstances in the streets is channeled into outlets such as art, music, film, and fashion. They made the impossible possible, from line base in Sierra Leone to luxury fashion stores in Paris, New York, and Berlin. This is what we created single-handedly, without a single cent in donations, without running water, without electricity. Most of them not being able to read and write at the time when I met them. And now, some of them studying law, engineering, being filmmakers, and so on. This is made with pure energy, inspiration, and love in Freetown. With creativity and passion as the sole ingredient, we participate in a global market of international competition and find our way into the world's most exclusive department stores, onto the bodies of the world's fashion icons, and into the most distinguished art collections and exhibitions in Berlin, Paris, New York, Miami. A proven concept that produced self-sufficient individuals financing their own education into lawyers, engineers, filmmakers, and artists within only 3 years. A concept based on mutual respect and sharing, a blueprint that can be replicated anywhere, under any circumstances. I only had the vision and the insight to recognize diamonds in the rough, and was determined to prove to the world that the absence of donation produces quality in a self-sufficient manner. I believe charity merely creates inferiority and dependency. I want to serve as a bridge between two worlds I call home.
They were able to read and write before she got there. So even though they've been seeing these hard times from a young age, being on the streets, they still educated themselves. That's really, really inspiring.
Home to facilitate a fair exchange between two contrasting worlds that become powerful once balance is reinstalled. It's not about charity, it's about charity. Today I invite you to change your perspective, own your visions of a brighter world. Never see lack, see abundance, always, everywhere, and watch the universe conspire. Don't focus on problems, but on the solution. Remember, our perception of any given situation is the only thing that determines the outcome. I am Mallence. I am German, too. Change your channel. Vielen Dank für Ihre Aufmerksamkeit. Thank you for listening.
A good video, and props to all the points that were made and the vision she had, and the young people's lives were changed. I mean, from literally nothing, they developed their own way of marketing and selling their product, and thus that funded their education to become lawyers, doctors, and artists. That's amazing. They didn't even have charity, not a single dollar in charity, to develop their own, I guess, a brand. That says a lot. It's really good. You guys should watch these kinds of things instead of taking the BS from the world wholesale. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for future videos. See you later.